There are plenty of mysterious monuments on our planet which are associated with unsolved riddles. We have already told you about some of them in one of the previous videos. And here are some interesting things which can impress you with their fantastic architectural features. We bet that many of you will be surprised with the conclusions to which these artifacts will eventually lead us. Spring 1985, a local diving instructor accidentally came across a weird object in the coastal water of a little Japanese island, Yonaguni. Not too far away from the coast, he saw an enormous stone monument above the wave surface extending beyond the visibility limits, literally. Wide, flat platforms covered with an ornament of rectangles and rhombuses turned into bizarre terraces cascading down in large steps. After that, the diver told specialists about his find, and Japanese newspapers blossomed up with the sensational titles. But the scientific society almost totally ignored it. Historians don't have information about the culture which could create this construction. Therefore, they preferred to declare the hypothesis of the artificial origin of the underwater monument of Yonaguni just a speculation and determine it as a bizarre game of nature. However, pretty soon it turned out that it is not the only one applicant for the title of the ruins of an ancient civilization. 200 meters southeast of the monument, there is an object which is called the Stadium. It actually looks like a kind of stadium, representing an area measuring about 80 meters, surrounded by stepped structures, resembling spectator stands. Although the tribunes are very similar to purely natural formations, they also have slotted troughs and paths. Finally, all the questions have been answered due to something which was found. From afar, it looked like a large submarine cabin, but the more closer you get to this cabin, the more it turns into a 7-meter human head. They call it a moai-like shape, implying the statues of Easter Island. Although it does have a certain resemblance, actually the head itself could indeed have a natural origin, and definitely the recesses forming the mouth and the eyes point at obvious modification made by humans. Morai is a city in Peru, placed about 50 kilometers northeast of Cusco, near the city of Maras. Morai is famous for its large complex of ruins of the Incan civilization times. Huge round-faced terraces stand out among the ruins, presumably monuments of terrace farming. The depth of the wells, the largest is about 30 meters deep, make a temperature difference between the upper and lower parts of 15 degrees Celsius. As in many other monuments of Inca culture, there was a complex agricultural irrigation system for supplying water to the plants. At first sight, Morai looks like an antique Greek amphitheater. The researchers have found out that it used to be a specific agricultural laboratory of the Incas, where empirically the best conditions of planting for certain crops and vegetables have been selected. There are 4 such terraces in Morai. The largest is 45 meters deep. The height of each level is 2 meters, which creates a temperature difference between the upper and lower parts of the well. Soil samples showed that it was imported from other regions of Peru, from the jungle, subtropics, and the Andes. Thus, Inca technologists in practice determined which type of seed is more suitable for certain conditions. Then, the grown supergrains were sent to regions to improve the quality of the harvest. In 1963, the repair works in a house in Turkish Cappadocia opened a wall in a cave. This is how Derinkuyu, one of the largest underground cities in the world, was discovered. In Turkish, its name means deep well. The scale of the maze city, which is completely hidden under the ground, is truly amazing. It is known that Derinkuyu has more than 12 floors going underground at 85 meters, and its area makes 2.5 thousand square meters. Furthermore, it was built about 3,000 years ago. The underground city is really amazing from an architectural point of view. Besides the fact that the city has about 600 secret passages, it is equipped with smartly constructed columns. Derinkuyu could be closed from the inside with round stone doors. Their design is also very interesting. It was possible to open the 450-kilogram door only from the inside by a special lever, and only one person could do it. One of the biggest religious centers and main sites in Ethiopia is the medieval town Lalibela. You can see the greatest local miracle at the altitude of 2,000 meters above sea level on the mountainside. A whole complex of churches is carved out of stone exactly in the rock. It is impossible to see them from the road since the domes are at ground level. The height of these buildings reaches 12 meters. Scientists say they are at least 800 years old. For centuries, no one asked about the origin of these churches. Tourists did not go there, and the locals always strongly believed that this was the work of a higher power. Historians are adamant. All this was created by only one pickaxe without using cement, clay, and beams. To sound more convincingly, they say that Ethiopian workers were creating it for 25 years. Teotihuacan is an abandoned city 50 kilometers from Mexico City, built 2,000 years ago and ceased to exist in a very mysterious way. We know that the Aztecs came to the city. They saw pretty much the same thing that we can see. It was the Aztecs who gave the name Teotihuacan to the city, which means the place where gods were born, or the place where people became God. Research shows that the city was built approximately in the 1st century AD, and by the 5th century, it reached its peak and became the largest city in America. The size of this ancient city is impressive. With an area of 20 square kilometers, it contained a population of 200,000 inhabitants. The builders of Teotihuacan adhered to the planning very strictly, constructing this city. The highway, paved with volcanic stone, has a length exceeding 5 kilometers and a width of 40 meters. It did not turn off and went straight from south to north, crossing the central square, where administrative establishments and religious buildings were placed. Side streets adjoined it at right angles, where ordinary citizens and local nobility lived. One of the most interesting secrets of Teotihuacan is why the inhabitants left this city during its flourishing. The Longiao Caves is a group of large artificial caves in the east of China. The caves were discovered June 9, 1992, during Pound's cleaning works, which were considered as bottomless. The water was pumped out, and as a result, they could see the entrance to the underground establishment. There are 24 hand-dug caves here in total, with an average area of 1,000 square meters, and in some places, the ceiling height reaches 30 meters. As evidence of the unnatural origin of the caves, there are marks from bits. There are also stairs, pillars, and elegantly carved figures in the grottos. All these facts make Longiao one of the most unusual places on Earth. According to experts' opinion, these caves were dug more than 2,000 years ago. There is a bizarre complex, Nan Madol, in the Pacific Ocean, and its origin is still something unrevealed. Scientists still can't figure out who created it and how. Nan Madol is also known as the Pacific Venice, and it looks like the ruins of ancient monuments, most of which are placed underwater. This ancient archipelago, consisting of the Caroline Islands, is located on an area of 79 hectares and occupies 92 islands. The bases of these islands are the remains of rectangular structures, and their walls are preserved quite well. Some of them reach up to 9 meters in height from the base, but generally the ruins are in chaos. Giant debris, branches are scattered all over the complex, and it gives the impression of a natural disaster. In some places, the walls go down into the water. On the underwater plates, the drawing of geometric shapes, such as circles and rectangles, has been found. What ancient civilization built it? And what happened to it? There are no answers to these questions yet. Looks like someone experimented with the civilizations on our planet throughout dozens or even thousands of years. So, what is so interesting about the third planet from the Sun? Or maybe it all fits the original view of the world of progressive human development. Share your opinion in the comments below. Meanwhile, we are working on a new video about, but let it stay behind the scenes. See you soon on our channel.